Today I want to show you how to make a stir fry. It is my absolute favorite thing to do. You know why? Because it is so fast to make, and whatever leftovers you have in the kitchen, you can just put things together and bang, work out something really amazing in no time whatsoever. There's a great handout called the Mix and Match Stir Fries. You do use it, shows you the different kinds of vegetables you can mix and match with different flavors to come up with great meals in just a matter of minutes. So let's get started, shall we? We're making cabbage stir fry today, and the reason why I chose to work with this beautiful Napa cabbage is because, you know, first of all, cabbage is a crucifer, and all the cruciferous vegetables are wonderful for us women, for our estrogen. Crucifers help our liver to detoxify the liver in order to get rid of metabolized estrogens, but also they contain a substance called DIM, which inhibits the activity of the aggressive estrogen. So anyone here with a history of breast cancer, issues with uterus, fibroids, will find this particular recipe incredibly healing as well. Cabbage is also very rich in vitamin K and vitamin C, and you know what, so today all we have to do is just cut it up in half, and then we're going to be working right through it. So just chopping it to about an inch to half an inch of thickness. I like Napa cabbage, you know, it's just, there's something very subtle about it. It's not as intense as the other cabbages, although all of them are very, very nutritious. Also, cabbage is very high in sinigrin, which is cancer preventative. One more quality about a cabbage I would like you to know: it contains a substance called ICT, which stands for anti-inflammatory isothiocyaninates. And what it does, it helps to regulate H. pylori, which is a very common bacteria we have in the gut that causes a lot of digestive issues. And so cabbage really is a wonderful food. You don't want to eat it too much of it when it's raw, but when it's cooked, it's an absolute superfood. Alright, let's get going. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons of duck fat, which is my absolute favorite fat to use. I'm going to throw in some onions. The reason why I love duck fat is because it really is an exquisite kind of fat, saturated fat, very stable, so we want to use that one in cooking, in high temperature cooking. Delicious, very often used in French cuisine. That's part of the reason why French cooking or French cuisine, French dinners are so expensive when you go to a really good French restaurant. So the next thing to do is to throw in a bit of garlic, and I'm using here a teaspoon of garlic and then some ginger. I'm gonna make it more on the oriental flavors here. I'm just gonna do that for a short while because it's just to open up the spices. Now remember, one of the things I talked about was using leftovers. I had some leftover sausages sitting in the fridge. I want to make sure I use them. So these sausages are already cooked, so I'm not going to spend too much time cooking them through. Of course, if you're using raw sausages, you want to cook them prior to putting them in a pot. Smell the garlic and the ginger now coming out. You can brown your sausages more if you like. I'm just going to keep it at that. I don't like mine to be too brown. And this is where I'm going to throw in the cabbage. And you will see the cabbage reducing to about half of the pot size as compared to what we have right now. On top, I'm using coconut aminos instead of soy sauce, because remember, cooking for hormones, we're not using any soy products. And then I'm throwing in some rice vinegar for acidity. Mixing it a little bit. And then we're going to let it cover and cook it until we see the significant reduction in volume. I'm doing this on high heat like a real walk. It's kind of fun. It reminds me of being in Asia when you walk in the streets and everybody's out with the walk and everybody's got a little bit different recipe from each other, competing for flavors and textures. And that's one of the beauty of this recipe, is that really any vegetables can go in here. Whatever you have in the fridge, whether it's cabbage, whether it's parsnips, whether it's some kale leaves, putting that towards the end. You could also use sweet potato. It's just different vegetables will take a different time to cook. So do look at the mix and match stir fry handout, because that shows you exactly what different vegetables would need in terms of time for cooking. Okay, and that's pretty much it. We're done. Wasn't that easy and fast? I mean, all of this has taken us just a few minutes, literally less than 10 minutes of cooking. So I'm just gonna veg this out. 1 cabbage head will serve about 2 people when you're hungry, and 3 for those who are not too hungry. I'm just gonna top this up with some fresh cilantro or coriander, depending on which part of the world you're from. Just gonna chop it roughly. I love cilantro. It's one of the great detoxifiers as well. It takes those heavy metals out of your body. And then just a touch of sesame oil, since we're going oriental this time around. And just for a little bit of contrast and colors, for the fun of it, I'm gonna be using black sesame seeds. And that's it. Dinner is ready. That was 10 minutes.